Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I created this presentation just because it is a hot topic with everything that's been happening. And you're exactly right. Groceries is it's crazy. So I keep a budget. I track my expenses. I very much know what's going in and out on a monthly basis. And that really helps me manage my money and try to achieve the financial goals I have for our household. But in doing so, I'm very much aware of what we're spending in each category, including groceries. So just to give you an idea, pre-COVID, I was spending about $125 a week at the grocery store. Now, for our family, the grocery store also includes toiletries and cleaning products and those kinds of things. So that's all in one budget together. I put that under needs, groceries, cleaning products, toiletries, right? That was about $125 a week for my family of four. And so now, post-COVID, I'm spending more like $200 a week. I try to get closer to 175, but I can't. There's some months that I just cannot, and I'm definitely spending about $200 a week on that category. And just to give you an idea, when my kids were little, they're 19 and 16 now, I would spend $75 a week at the grocery store, plus a can of formula for my baby girl who's 16 now. Right? $75 a week plus a can of formula went to $125 a week and now is $200 a week. And yes, they're older and they eat more. I know. Could you imagine $75? But I will say money was super tight and we had to be very strict during that time. I remember calling my husband at the grocery store and saying, you have to choose, this shows my age right here. You have to choose between salsa and ice cream. I didn't have it in the budget for us to be able to do both. And so, yeah, inflation is a huge thing. Some of you may not even really understand inflation and what it means. So we will define inflation. We'll even talk about deflation and what that is. And then we'll go over tips to overcome inflation, which is definitely why you're here. Okay, so Mike said ice cream, definitely. Good. Yeah, I would go with ice cream too. I'm not a salsa person, but he is. All right, so what is inflation? Does anyone want to unmute and tell me what they think inflation is? Oh, I bet you save money by making your own salsa. Do you put a lot of cilantro in it? I am not a salsa person at home, but at the Mexican restaurant, love me some salsa with cilantro. Yeah, if you were even doing your own garden and making your own salsa, that could be cheap. But Bluebell is not cheap, just so you know. All right, guys, what is inflation? Anyone want to tell me? Everyone's being shy today. You're amongst friends.
It's the cost of whatever, like the same basket of goods, the price difference between that same basket of goods, like it being more
Yeah,
compared to before.
exactly. The increase of the price of goods and services, because we know as the price of goods go up, so does the cost of services, especially with, gasoline goes up. Now it costs more to have our food delivered or whatever delivered from one place to the next. Yeah, absolutely. So the increase in prices of goods and services. Now they keep track of that, and we're going to talk more about the inflation rate in a little bit, but just let me ask you guys, do you think inflation is good or bad? Kaylee said both. Lashana said bad. Why do you say both, Kaylee? We got two bads.
I feel like maybe good in the sense that sometimes the cost of things does have to increase, but then bad when it gets out of hand and it goes past what is affordable living and being able to purchase it. I don't know.
Okay. No, it does. It makes complete sense. A lot of people say bad because we don't want the prices to go up because our wages are typically not keeping up with that increase, right? When inflation is high, don't interest rates drop, which is good. Okay, we'll talk about that. Yeah, because they want you to spend more money, so they'll lower the interest rates. Okay. When you're on a budget, it makes things tighter for families. Yep, so that seems bad, right? Depends if income rises. Yeah, if your income is keeping up, then that could be helpful. It depends on whether you are selling or buying. And here's the thing, like if you're selling a house and the cost of homes go up, yeah, obviously you're going to make more on that house, but often when we sell a house, we're buying another house. So the house that you're buying, most likely the cost of that house went up too, right? And I hopefully I'll get to my philosophy on home prices and interest rates. We did last time I gave this presentation, so hopefully we'll have time for that. But economists believe small amounts of inflation can benefit the economy and help drive economic growth. So ideally, they do want, economists think that we should have some kind of small inflation year after year. Now, again, if salaries are not keeping up with it, or if the inflation rate is too high, that's when it becomes more of a burden on us. Let's talk about what deflation is. Deflation is the price of goods and services decreasing. I've had a student once ask me, can deflation happen? Is that a thing? And the answer is yes, but it's often a signal of depression or recession. So the prices will go down if we're not spending money. And that's when the feds will often lower the rates, the interest rates, to get us to spend money because we don't want a depression or recession, right? I think inflation hits harder depending on income level, right? I see that, I feel that, but definitely impacts all. But inflation, I know, can be beneficial in other areas of the market. I'm not well versed. For me, inflation is kicking behind grocery wise and insurance rates for homes wise due to costs of supplies to rebuild if something happens. Yeah. Yeah. So absolutely. I agree with that, Kaylee. I do think inflation hits harder when you don't have as much wiggle room. Now, there can be opportunity during recession to invest and hopefully make money later on when it starts going when the market starts improving. But overall, deflation would be a bad thing. To me, the only bright side of deflation is the market will go down and then you can start investing when it's down. You know that saying, buy low, sell high, right? That's the time to buy low when a lot of people get out of the market during a time of depression or recession. So the Federal Reserve targets a 2% inflation rate each year. And I'll be honest, I don't know all the ins and outs of why exactly we need growth. I know it has to do with printing money and it being good for the economy to continue to grow, but I don't have any specific details of that in this presentation. I like the deflation when I'm buying milk and eggs along with other necessities. That's right. And I think we can all agree that like the grocery store is where we're hurting the most, right? I think I'm hearing that, which is good because I talk about that when I talk about tips to beat inflation. What happens if inflation increases too much or it goes too high, which is what we've been seeing, right? It will lower the consumer's purchasing power and slow economic growth. So this talks a little bit, yes, we stop spending money, right? Which is not good for the economy. Then people can lose jobs if we're not spending money, right? So we want to be able to continue economic growth and be able to afford our purchases we don't want inflation to be high. But often the problem is that our income is not keeping up with this inflation rate. Here's an example, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics. In October 2022, if an average worker was making $10.99 per hour, a year later, their hourly wage only increased to $11.05 per hour. Okay, that was, well, I just actually made this example based off what they were saying, that the wages grew 0.8%. During that same time period of October to 2022 and October to 2023, inflation rose 3.2%. Yes. And so this is what happens with supply and demand, right? We purchase things, and when the prices go too high, we slow our spending, right? And then we can't, and some things we still have to purchase, right? There's certain things that we have to continue buying, but instead of paying for, you know, soda, maybe that's something you cut out because that's an extra thing at the grocery store. You stop buying soda. Well, now the soda companies need to discount their prices to get more people to buy it. And so that can help fight inflation with the whole idea of supply and demand, right? So in this example, I just wanted you to see that in October to 2022 to October 23, wages only grew about 0.8%, whereas inflation rose 3.2%. Wages did not keep up with the inflation rate, right? So consumers could not keep up with the rising costs of goods and services. So what can you do? Yeah, and the whole idea of pet food, guys, when inflation really started hitting in 2022, 2020, 2021, we started buying more off-brand things, right? Off-brand purchases and going cheaper with products for food. And then I actually ended up couponing, and I believe I've done a couponing presentation for OU Wellness before. But that's why I started couponing, is to save on these products. But I went with cheaper dog food for my dog because we were buying cheaper food. And guys, your health for you and your dog, pets, cats, any kind of pet, is important. I want you to also remember that. My vet says that switching to the cheaper dog food did not contribute to my dog getting diabetes, but my dog used to have, was on expensive dog food. And when we started cutting back and doing to off-brand things, I started getting cheaper dog food for him too. And this in 2023, my dog was diagnosed with diabetes. And so, yeah, Allison said, my cat eats better than I do. My new puppy, he has the expensive dog food. I'm not going to take the chance. So don't do that to your own health or your pet's health to go cheaper when you know you need more quality food. I just want you to keep that in mind, right? We need to be taking care of ourselves and not going too cheap. And yeah, pets can be a large part of our budget for sure. What can you do to help combat inflation? This is not on one of my slides, but I want to go ahead and say this because the last time I gave this presentation for a group of OU staff, they were talking about a program, like a discount program that is available to OU employees. Kaylee, do you know about this? Can you share that information, like a discount program or website where
Yes,
they can get?
I can, I will share that information in a follow-up email, send all the links that we need
Perfect.
for you guys.
Yeah. And so that was shared in the group chat when I gave this presentation, and Lashana just sent a tip that they do to save money. So while we start going through these ways to combat inflation, 4 tips are focused on ways to keep more of your hard-earned money. And then there are 2 tips after that that aren't about saving money. They're different tips. So we're going to go through all of them. But the first 4 are focusing on what can you do to keep your hard-earned money. And so LaShawna has already given 1 in the group chat. I want to encourage you to all share your tips in the group chat with each other so that we can learn from one another, right? Okay. So let's start with tip number 1. Avoid overpaying for goods and services. Research before you purchase. So when I was younger, my grandmother told me, if you're going to make a large purchase, you should always get 3 quotes, whether it's a good or service, right? Like someone's going to come in and do work on your house, you're buying a washer and dryer, whatever. Get 3 quotes. Now you don't have to. When I was buying my washer and dryer in my 20s, I literally had to drive to 3 different stores. Now we can do our research online. I just wasn't online like I am now, right? But you still need to do your research. I always say, when you are buying something on sale, don't think of it as buying it on sale. Still focus on what you're spending. So if something costs $1,000 and it's on sale for $250, don't say, oh man, I saved $250. Still focus on I spent $750. So if it's something you don't need, yeah, I mean, you're spending $750 that maybe you shouldn't, right? Or maybe it's not in the budget too. But if it is something you absolutely need or you have budgeted for it because you really have wanted it for a long time, then absolutely get it on sale. I don't want you to focus on trying to get something on sale because some people love the deal or the thrill of getting a good deal. And then they maybe still overspend because they like getting good deals. However, if you're going to buy it, get it on sale, right? Utilize coupons and store saving offers. Couponing has never been easier. Again, I created a whole coupon presentation because I started doing it because of inflation. If you came to it, I talked about Dollar General, Family Dollar, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, and CVS. Like they all have apps, and there are other stores that do this too. They have apps and you can get your deals right by purchasing it through the app. So for me, one of the things that I do to try to stay in budget for food, guys, is I ordered my food online through Walmart and then I go do the grocery pickup. So it's a free service. I'm not paying for any kind of membership from Walmart. And if you know anything about me, I'm super frugal. So I am not about like paying for apps or paying for services, paying for subscriptions. The average American family is spending over $200 a month in subscriptions. So I don't do that, but I do order online. So 1, it helps me stay within budget, but 2, there are manufacturer coupons through Walmart's app that when you go to the store, you're not getting that. So if it's on sale at Walmart, when you go in the store, you'll get that rollback price, but you're not getting the manufacturer coupon that you are getting through the app. Okay. So Dollar General is one of my favorite places to shop because on Saturdays, they have an extra 5 off $25. And a lot of the products that I use for cleaning, like my cleaning products and my laundry soap, I can get from Dollar General. So I can go in and if my budget is $25, I'm definitely spending less than $25. I will consistently get between 33 and 50% off what I'm spending at Dollar General just by using my Dollar General app, because I only buy products that we need that are on sale on Saturday, and then I get the 5 off 25 on Saturday. So I'm never spending $25. I'm always spending 33 to 50% less than that. But I utilize my Walmart app for those manufacturer coupons and to stay within my budget. But also I use a rebate app called Ibotta. The way rebate apps are, you can connect them to your for example, Ibotta and Target Walmart and Target are connected to my Ibotta app. So if I go into Ibotta and I click deals that I'm going to buy at Target or Walmart, when I go to check out at Walmart or Target, it automatically gives me that credit with Ibotta. A lot of times the manufacturer deals that are happening in my Walmart app are the same exact deals happening at Ibotta and Dollar General. I mean, the same companies tend to have the same deals. Now, sometimes it's better for me to just buy the off-brand. It's cheaper, but sometimes I want a specific name brand product for something, for example, laundry soap. I'm a Tide girl. And so I'm not buying the off-brand. I am buying Tide on sale through Dollar General. So I don't pay for a Sam's membership because remember, your girl's frugal, but my parents have a Sam's membership. So I will periodically go with them and buy meat in bulk, right? Like ground beef, and then chop it up into pound increments and stick it in the freezer. Yes. So Aldi is so cheap. I don't have an Aldi that's super close to me. I will occasionally go there, but if there was one closer to me, I would probably buy more products from Aldi than even my Walmart app. I'm just trying to read through all the notes to see if there's anything. Hopefully y'all will read the notes and the tips and share with you, and so you get them. If you're ordering through the Walmart app, are those manufacturer coupons automatically applied at checkout? Yeah. So when I go to pick up my groceries, when the person that's delivering my groceries to my car, when they click that it's done, then it connects to my Walmart app and I get that rebate, that deposit, if you will, the credit. That's the word I'm looking for. The credit. Now Ibotta, I don't think updates until the next day or like at midnight or something. It's not as immediate. I'm trying to pull up my Walmart app right now. Yeah, so it's Walmart Cash is what it's called. And so every time you use one of those manufacturer coupons, it'll credit you Walmart Cash. And you can use that Walmart Cash both online or in the store. We used Walmart Cash to buy my nephew's Christmas gifts last year. But Ibotta is the same thing. You'll get a credit. And then with Ibotta, you can buy gift cards. So we've bought Walmart gift cards and Starbucks gift cards for ourselves and for gifts with our Ibotta credit. Upside is more of a gas. There's some restaurants that Upside uses, but it's more for gasoline. I used to do Upside, but what I have found is that Walmart's gasoline price with the 3% discount I get by using my Walmart app is consistently the discounted price using the Upside app with your local gas station. Just because in my area, the Walmart gas tends to be the cheapest gas around in my area. And then because I pay with my app, my Walmart app, I get an extra 3 cents off. So my card is on file with Walmart app because that's how I order my groceries online. So that's how I just scan the QR code when I'm getting gas and I get an extra 3 cents off a gallon. Yeah, there's so many. Yes, Target card. I'm not suggesting like a Target credit card where you could possibly go into debt, because the 5% saving that you're getting with a Target credit card, if you were carrying a balance, you're paying way more that in insurance. But I do have the Target Red Card debit card, and it's attached to my checking account. So at checkout, I get an extra 5 cents off at Target, and then it automatically gets drafted out of my checking account. Oh, I thought there was a credit card red card. I thought there was both. Okay. So again, don't overpay for goods and services. We have such a minimal amount to work with as it is. Do whatever you can to make things cheaper on you. Research, buy things on sale, utilize coupons and rebate apps. Oh yeah. I follow couponers on Instagram and TikTok, and they always are telling you the latest deals. In fact, my son's AirPod Pros, that I bought for him, not this Christmas, but the Christmas before. The reason why I bought him those is because I found out I could get them on sale through Costco. And I don't know if y'all know Mike Kinderman, Money Mike is what I call him. He had a Costco membership because he got a deal on it. And I paid him for it, and I got a good deal on, I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was $100 off. I think they were on sale, $50 through Costco. And then there was some kind of like deal that you got an extra $50 off. I want to say I got $100 off those AirPod Pros. And the only reason why I knew about it was because of someone on Instagram. And you can also get coupons straight from the manufacturer. I've never heard of iHerb. I'm going to write that down. See, we are learning from each other today. Okay. Number 2, I kind of spoke to this already. Skip name brands to save money. Trends go out as quickly as they come in. And I feel like I really learned this in my 20s. When it came to decorating my house and clothes. If I tried to keep up with the latest trends, as soon as I was able to buy what I wanted, it was out and something else was in. So I decided to go more traditional and more on things, clothes, you know, and home decor. So I wasn't trying to keep up with the latest trends. And then buying off brands, or they're called duplicates, are a good option. That's the newest terminology, according to my 16-year-old daughter. I've heard of camel. So your girl doesn't buy Amazon, or it doesn't pay for Amazon Prime, but I have things in my Amazon cart, right? And so when things go on sale in my Amazon cart, then I know if I really needed it or wanted it, I could buy it. But also why there's things in my cart is because when I need something immediately, but I don't want to pay shipping because I don't have Amazon Prime, I'll go look in my cart to see what I could add to my cart, or to my, it's not your cart. It's not a wish list. What's it called? I've gone blank. Where it's not actually in your cart, but I'm pulling up my Amazon app. It is save for later is what it's called. Save for later. Yeah. Thank you, Susan. It's save for later. So I have things in my save for later. So if I'm buying something and I need $9.99 or $10 to spend to get free shipping, I'll go look to see. Me too. Kaylee, it took me 2 years to buy a what do you call it? A Roomba. I was saving for that. I was using actually my Target card. Like, you get a gift card when you buy things on sale through Target. So I was saving those up. And then but I also had a Roomba in my Amazon cart for it to go on sale. I swear I waited. That Roomba was in my Amazon cart for 2 years. Okay. So duplicates are just a cheaper alternative option on different things. So, you know, if there are things that you're into, maybe like skincare products, there's always duplicates. When I started couponing, I went to my family and I said, which brands or products are non-negotiable? Which product can you not go to off-brand? And so my son said ketchup. We tried, and the syrup. We tried the ketchup, the off-brand ketchup and syrup, and my family was like, no go. So I have to buy Heinz ketchup. Okay. And so you just need to know which ones are you willing to switch out and which ones you can't. And the ones you can't, then you try to get them on sale or use a coupon. So my mother-in-law's bought refurbished AirPod Pros and a Ring camera on, maybe it was eBay. I was thinking it was Amazon, and she's had great luck with it. but I'm sure that there's a risk with that too. All right, number 3, minimize the amount of interest you pay on debt. Guys, we have a certain amount of money, right? So we don't want to waste money by paying interest to some financial institution. We need that money, right? So try to pay off debts as quickly as possible, especially your high interest debt, like credit card debt. Make extra payments so you can pay less in interest and get out of debt quicker. If you've ever seen any of my presentations where I've talked about debt, you may have seen an example like this. It's a credit card example showing you that if you have $2,200 on a credit card, which, by the way, the average American has over $6,000 on their credit card. It's like 6,300, I think, as far as credit card debt. So let's say you put $2,200 on a credit card at 21% interest rate. If you just make the minimum payment each month, you're only paying about 1% of the balance. It's going to take you over 16 years to pay it off, and you're going to pay over $3,000 in interest. But if you not just could pay the minimum payment, but an extra $100 a month, you would pay it off in 2.4 years and only pay $600 in interest. So I like to show this example to show you how high interest debt can really cost you a lot in interest, and how that making those extra payments will get you out of debt faster and save you money. Hey guys, I love that you're sharing tips to each other to save money. Keep sharing your tips. That's fantastic. Say no to fees. There are so many types of fees out there. We're gonna go through some of them, but fees add up over time. And some people go, oh, it's not a big deal. It's only $10 a month. Well, $10 a month is $120 a year. That's how my husband taught me how to look at things like that. Because I would say, oh, Netflix is only $15 a month. And he would say, $15 a month is X amount a year, right? Like, so start looking at the big picture, especially when you're looking at your subscriptions and what you're paying every month in subscriptions. But let's say no to fees. Let's talk about different types of fees. One, okay, but Yvette, if you don't pay your affirm on time, that becomes predatory very quickly, okay? It's no interest as long as you make your payments on time. And I know you may be already aware of this, but that's something that I'm trying to get across to college students, because that buy now, pay later philosophy is causing a lot of people to end up getting into high APR interest. Okay, Nathan, we do the same thing. We cancel our YouTube TV after football season ends, and then we get it back before next. I'm glad we're not the only one that does that. I love it. I love that. Yeah. I'm not a fan of buy now, pay later. Because if someone makes a missed or late payment, like with the firm, it's going to hurt you a lot. Or it's a very high APR after that. Okay. Late fees. But Yvette, as long as you're paying everything on time, but that's what they want you to do. They want you, instead of saying pay all of it right now at checkout, they say only 4 low payments of $25 instead of paying all 100, 4 low payments, but then people forget about it or whatever. Okay. Late fees. Pay bills on time, set up automatic payments or calendar reminders. This would be especially very important for things like Affirm, right? So some people are really good about paying their bills on time. Some people are not. If you are not, set it up to be automatic. Bank fees. Talk to your bank about ways to avoid fees. They may say, as long as you have direct deposit into this account, there's no fees, or as long as you have a minimum balance, there are no fees. As long as you don't make a certain amount of withdrawals from your savings account, there's no fees. Whatever it is, figure it out and do that. If you can't get free services from your bank by following these guidelines, then maybe switch banks or credit unions. Because like one option is maybe go paperless. So you'll get an electronic statement each month, and then that might be free of fees. And then obviously, if you go over withdrawn, there's fees attached to that. I always keep a minimum balance in my checking account. LaShawna, that's a great idea, is to go ahead and pay up front. And then you know what you have for your discretionary spending or your other variable expenses like food throughout the pay period. So even though I set up my budget per month, guys, everything's broken down by pay period, right? During the first half of the month, these are the bills or things that I pay for, plus the leftover is our discretionary spending for variable expenses. And then other things are paid for the second half of the month, right? But each pay period, also money's going into savings. All right, ATM fees, locate branches near you, free ATMs near you. If you're on the Norman campus, there are MidFirst Bank ATMs. So if you have a MidFirst Bank account, you can get withdrawals without paying the fees. Yes, some months more than others, but absolutely. Hidden fees. Read the fine print and look over your statements. I am all about trying to get everything free of service. So I don't want to pay fees. I don't want to, whether it's an app or a subscription or whatever. Okay, so those were our 4 tips to save money. They were keep more of your hard-earned money. Research, don't overpay for price for goods and services. Say no to fees, save on fees, maybe go off brand, right? And then also don't pay interest or minimize how much interest you're paying. You're losing that way. I guess we could add a 5th one about subscriptions, but I kind of covered that with fees. Okay, I have 2 more tips for you. This one is work for an employer that provides a yearly cost of living wage increase. Now, the way that inflation has been happening over the last few years, it's hard. It would be hard to keep up with that cost of living wage increase. There's probably a lot of employers that were not able to keep up with that. But I say this out of love. I was a teacher for 9 years. My step increase for 9 years was not enough to combat inflation, right? The whole walkout or strike for teachers did not happen until after I left education. So for 9 years, I did not get a raise. And so I say this lovingly, work for an employer that provides a yearly cost of living wage increase. And then my best tip, my final tip and my best tip, friends, your interest rate should be higher than the inflation rate. Your rate of return on investment should be higher than the inflation rate to make sure your money isn't losing value. Guys, banks and credit unions, well, I don't know about credit unions, but banks, I know, have historically high savings account and certificate of deposit rates. My son got a CD, a certificate of deposit from MidFirst Bank. It was an 18-month CD at 5.25%. So once a month, he'll get a deposit from that interest on this CD. Now, in case you don't know what CDs are, they're like a savings account, except you can't access that money. It's locked in for a period of time. So in this case, 18 months. If he tried to access that money before 18 months, he would be penalized, right? But it is a guaranteed 5.25% for 18 months. High yield savings accounts, 4 to 5%. These are historically high rates. So it's never been a better time to save your money. If you have extra money sitting in your checking account, you need a minimum balance in your checking account so you don't over withdraw and end up getting what are those
audio
fees.
Problems, and nobody was responding to anything else.
Cami, can you unmute yourself? I accidentally muted you.
That's okay.
Sorry.
But it's never been a better time to utilize high yield savings accounts and certificate of deposit. So you want a minimum balance in your checking account that you don't go over withdrawn. But if you have extra money, you need to have it in a savings account. And guys, the more money you put in a CD or the more money you have in a savings account, the higher the rate they're going to offer you. So yeah, I'm all for investing too in the market. We know the market goes up and down. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. But that investing in the market is can be middle of the road or high risk investments. Whereas a certificate of deposit, a savings account at a federally insured bank, your money is 100% safe. That's risk-free and you're guaranteed that rate of return. And what do I mean federally insured? If your bank is a member FDIC, that means your money is protected, federally insured up to $250,000 per depositor. I love that you're working on grocery. Yeah. And so for me, planning my meals, we do a lot of meal prepping. Planning my meals for the week is helpful. I have a 19-year-old son. I buy that guy I cook him 2 pounds of taco meat, a pound of chicken, and a pound of sausage almost every week for him to eat off during the week. But it saves him money by not going to eat out, by having that meat already cooked and in the refrigerator. So we do meal prep to help us, but we also meal plan so that on Sunday when I go to the grocery store, my $200 a week, that's our food for the week, both lunches and dinners and breakfast. Yes, we have eating out too. We have that in our budget to eat out. So don't think that I am so disciplined that I never eat out. False. In fact, I didn't bring my lunch today, so I may have to go get something for lunch or Star, one of the two. So don't think that I'm that disciplined, but I'm just saying it's in our budget to eat out, and it's in our budget to have enough food on hand so that we are not tempted to eat out more than what we have budgeted. But again, with these food recipes, I think Dave Ramsey's in the mindset, rice and beans until you're out of debt, right? Okay. You also need to eat healthy food. Okay. All right. Keep sharing tips in the group chat, but does anyone have any questions for me? Is Wani, is that an app or a website?
It's Oni, and they are local to Oklahoma, and they're actually housed out of the OU Health Science Center campus here at OU.
Oh.
Yeah, so ONIE. They have recipe blogs, one pan, skillet meals, things like that, along with like a 3 or 5 meal, one grocery shopping list that's budget friendly, things like that.
Awesome.
I can send that in the follow-up too. I'll write that down.
Perfect. That's fantastic. Thank you. Are there any questions